the loot off that, couldn't get the spoils. Another boombo crack open right there, and when a fresh build comes out, if you do not hesitate, you send a boombo right away, you break it all open. So that's how he's able to just like catch these players off guard, because those roof panels are just, that's it, exploding right up.
Yeah.
Down to the low ground, CXV gets one elim there, and it's Macy and Mev who's going toe-to-toe. Mob still just has the dominant position.
Yeah, I mean, look, so he's going to drop down. He's got the single build, so he had to take a little bit of fall damage to rejoin everyone from the stratosphere. Macy's down below, and look at this. Immediately, boom, he says, I know you heard me take this fall damage. You don't know how much it was. They go for the challenge, and Moffin was prepared. He knew. Again, it's just about dictating the game, right? He's like, I want you to challenge me. You know that I'm hurt, how hurt I am. You do not know. And just like that, dictating the game yet again cleans up that victory royale. 15 eliminations.
How many points is that? It's that 25-point game.
That's
literally doubling his score out of nowhere. If you were in the top 10 and you had that come up, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, guys, you know, we've had an awesome time, but for now, we're going to hit pause. Let's send it back into studio with Dr. Lupo, because I believe the doctor is in.
What a terrible, repetitive joke, Zeke, but I appreciate the effort. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate that. Crazy games from Asia and Oceania. You love to see kind of the meta changes and how different regions present themselves and the way that they adjust their gameplay relative to everybody else. But Europe today, and as we've seen multiple times in the past, Europe has done an excellent job of putting on a show like I think few people could even possibly imagine. And to talk about that and an interesting turn of events for who ended up at the top, joining me right now is Sundown. What do you think so far about Europe?
Thank you so much, Lupo. Indeed, it was crazy. So just a couple of quick facts I want to write down. 15 points separated 100th place and 8th place. That means a 5-point victory royale was the difference of going to New York City and being in the 100th spot. That is absurd for how close it was. Blackso, in that final game we watched, pushed him up to 61 points. He was tied at 61, but because he had the victory royale and got the average elim at the end, it pushed him into the last spot. We talk about how every single interaction ends up mattering, and then unfortunately on the outside looking in, Airwalks, the last play we saw, if he had had one more build, he could have made it up the elevation and kept the storm. Instead, lost it, lost the victory royale, and lost his spot in New York City. Mitro also on the outside looking in, 2 top 15 finishes, but not being enough. That lets you know how crazy it is. However, the player who took the top spot was Cypher's Indretta with a crazy run, and we're going to be joined by him right now. Indretta, man, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good.
I mean, I would hope so. So we saw you yesterday put on an incredible show. In week after week, your placings have gone up. What was the difference between this weekend and all of the other weekends? Were you just feeling it? Did you eat your Wheaties for breakfast? What's going on?
The thing is, the other weeks I wasn't that confident, but this week I decided to try and talk with someone while playing. So that kind of helped. Getting to like talk to people, getting them to calm you down and stuff. And I got good RNG. Very good.
Nice, yeah, being able to get all of that and put it together. So you got off to an incredible run, winning 2 of your first 4 games. How were you able to get those victories? Did you just dominate them out? You had a solid amount of elims. What were those wins like?
I was using the bowler to get the end game. And then I usually found out like when I needed to drop out and stuff to go for the eliminations. And I usually had my bowler until end game. So the thing is, you should try and keep your bowler until end game, because it's really strong. You can go out of your bowler, get a lot of kills, and win the game. Also, you can use the bowler to get height most of the times.
Yeah,
so I did that sometimes. And
we saw you execute on that a number of times, which is kind of something we were talking about, pushing the gameplay and actually turning the baller into something that was aggressive. Now, kind of about midway through, you looked at the leaderboard, saw you were in such a lead and knew you'd be able to close it out. But my question is, when it was all said and done, and you saw you were there, you're in the #1 spot, what did you do? Did you run around your house? Did you go tell your parents? Were you celebrating on Discord? What was that moment like?
I was celebrating so much. I actually got hosted by Symphony. My stream was going crazy. I actually, while I was playing, like my 5th game, I started crying because I almost knew I was qualified. So that was probably one of the best moments in my life ever. I don't know what to say.
It's got to be exhilarating, honestly, to know that, especially in Europe, which we've talked about as one of the most difficult regions to qualify in. Even with 8 positions, there's so much pressure there. But I got to ask a kind of a random question. I keep seeing the lighting change on your face. What are you watching right now?
I'm actually watching the Fortnite stream.
All right, you see yourself. There's layers here. There's layers. It's very Inception level. Well, thank you so much, Andretta, for joining us. Before we let you go, though, if you could do me a favor, please, 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 please shout out your own channels, shout out your duo's channels, anybody you want to.
Okay. So my Twitch is Andretta. My Twitter is Cypher Andretta. My YouTube is Andretta. And I want to shout out Shokoladen, and all the people in that Discord. And I want to shout out my stream. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Again, incredible performance both yesterday and today. Congratulations. $10,000, a spot in New York City. And as Golden Boy would say, we'll have to get a slice of pizza. We'll be seeing you later, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think just the age ranges too. You know, the kids that are so young, all the way up to, I believe the oldest qualified right now is 24
right now. Yep.
Consider how much they're playing for too. I don't blame him honestly for getting emotional in the middle of even halfway through his games. It's insane.
It's just nuts to me where he's like, oh, I didn't have the level of confidence. And then right after, it's like, yeah, about like halfway through my games, I started crying because I knew I'd done it. And it's like, that's the level of confidence you need to be bringing on the final day. Just huge shout out to Andretta. Go follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, give him all the plugs because I promise you'll be seeing more of this prodigy. Topping Europe is an incredible accomplishment, but we have more games and more regions to be getting into. We saw Oceania and Asia just now. We're going to hop on in to Brazil for a brief little bit. So back on over to the cast as we go.
Thank you guys so much. Man, you know, I feel like we just nerded out about Fortnite, but now seeing Andretta be there and just like talk about things, it makes me want to nerd out more.
Dude, it gives me the feels, man. These young champions coming up and coming out, and it's crazy. Like he said, he just knew he made it, because if you look at the track history of all the players who've qualified so far, I say it every week, it only takes about 5 or 6 games. That's all it takes. If you get 5 or 6 aces, just solid games, big points, big placement, you're knocking on the door.
Right.
All you got to do is not choke the rest. Just ease it out. Just ease it out. Get a couple here, get a couple there, secure the deal, and Andretta knew 5 games in, oh my gosh, I think I got the 5 that I really needed to make it to New York City. And that was it. That was like literally it. Long behold, though, he gets first in the whole thing. European, the toughest region, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the toughest regions. Of course, you can't take away from West, who sometimes only gets 1 spot. You know, OCE, Asia, and Brazil, of course, they only get 1 spot. It's crazy. That's arguably harder, but when you talk about mass player pool, Europe is hard, dude. To get #1 is insane.
Well, especially for Andretta, I had a card not that long ago kind of saying a few of his placement spots. Last week, we watched him end in 610th place. And now, the last solo week, now to see him in the final week come out as that #1 player. You know, that's...
It just clicked.
You know... I would associate with, like, you know, there's 8 spots, and if you hit one of 8, great, awesome. I've qualified, great. But to be able to say, of that 8, I was #1, look, you know, Tifus of the world, you guys need to respect my game. I came in #1 in Europe. That's why I'm here in the finals. Like, let's go. It's going to be insane. Oh, man, I love Fortnite so much. 23 people left in the current lobby, though. Monster hopping in Storm Circle 6. Now, guys, don't forget, we are hopping into Brazil games. These are live. For a moment there, we had the timer. We're about 1:30 or so left on queue times. Don't forget, it's 10 games.
An hour.
About an hour 40. Okay, I was close. Darn. I was just off by 10. We have either that 3-hour window or 10 matches to play, whichever comes first. And then, obviously, we're going to, you know, make sure that, because don't forget, you can queue up even with those last few seconds and then play out an entire match. So we want to just make sure everyone has enough time to wrap up their games, get those standings out. But here we go, Peru. hop in with him. 100 ping. All right.
Things are unfolding right now as we speak. So this is a live situation here. Brazil known for another region that you have to pick up heavy elimination, secure placement points. This is not just a win every game and you make it through scenario. You need the elims as well. Nice shot right there from Peru. 100 ping. Connecting with the combat. Oh, bumps his noggin right there, and it's going to cost him a second launch pad.
Yeah, you definitely want to look up. You never want to make that happen because you waste a secondary launch pad, but it's okay. New rotation coming out. He's got to reassess. He's going to be able to get himself to safety. Now, he's already hit top 15, so everything's okay. We're still in the running here. But, you know, there's a lot of big names in the Brazil region. All the W7M boys. You see the red teams, right? You know, Snow, just to name one. You know, the X-Own King. So many talented players.
I've seen Techno Viking kind of pull through.
Also from red, you know, man, there's so many players here that this spot could go to. Tries to challenge for the launch pad, doesn't get it, and says, Kin, I'm going to go ahead and shut you down. You took that launch pad, I need it, and that's what helps him make the rotation.
Ooh, but he does get hit by a combat. It's Ice who's in the high ground, so Peru's now found himself in a dire situation. He's got to start healing. Tony's underneath the build, putting some pressure up, but Tony gets melted by Code, Pulsari, and so does Gabriel. Just gets owned by Vanessa on the edge there. Clip Node now putting pressure down. We're going to hop into his perspective here as he's looking for this combat. That's one, that's two. Doesn't find a third, but it's okay as he raises himself up into the layer. He's trying to get a brief moment of peace in this crazy storm that he's in right here. He can't even heal. A nice little shot. Fran, he catches him in the toe. It's going to keep him in the game here.
This is huge, man. He's already on 8 eliminations. When we talk about elimination counters, especially on finals, 8 is massive. You know this player has been on a spree. And look at this. Clipnote looking to play it out as technically as possible, looking for these angles, waiting for people to turn their backs and send shots over. I think he's trying to go for the wall replace.
Yeah, he hit this guy for white, so he knows he can take this right here. He's got to be careful, though. Can't let his guard down. Turns around. It's Peru, who was in a weird spot before. He was very low on health. Turns that one around. Someone else goes down to the storm right there, so Clipnote couldn't even get that. It's Vamos, who was still in the game. And Exakao holding up the high ground right now. What's he going to do? He's just walking on these builds. He doesn't have anything left. Neither does Clipnote.
In the shadow form, he just obliterates the player. That was absolutely insane. But Clipnote is the victor of that game. Like, see what it did there? Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. It's okay. Next game, though, massive props. Oh, you see
the clip and the this and the that.
I just rhymed. No big deal. I'm not a rapper. 44 players in the next game. Moving on in. Man, he popped that ghost right out of the sky. Maybe you could call him a ghost buster.
Oh.
Shout outs to Jeff. I made your joke. We're going to high five after this from production.
Take his joke?
Yeah, he wanted me to make the joke on broadcast, so I did it. Again, guys, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Give production some love. There's so many people that work so hard to make this all possible, and they're all wonderful human beings that I honestly cannot give and express enough love for. So just say, hashtag Fortnite World Cup production team. You guys are awesome. That would mean the world to me and to them. And an hour and a half. I guess 36 minutes. I'm just going to be specific because everyone's always like, you're rounding, don't do that. I'm sorry, it's just how I work.
Yeah, Zeke, there's 1 hour and 36 exact minutes and 13 seconds at this current moment. Every second, every moment matters.
That's right. Here we go.
It's Fax trying to get this guy to come down. Combat redeploy. He gets behind the tree. Tree works out in his favor and shadow bomb.
Ooh, you saw it. He was like, dude, I want this elim. I worked real hard. I need to find it. And they shadow bomb out. They're like, no, no, no.
Oh,
and in the end, it was the elimination credit. He must have fallen to the storm. Don't forget, with those recent changes, you got to be more careful, man. That 60-second timer, you can't play around with that.
Dude, he must have. I can only imagine in shadow form, if you wall hop off of a structure and it throws you back just a little bit. It must have been just enough to hold him into the storm.
Yeah.
And that's how Fax caught that elimination here. As the congestion, this is unreal for the Brazil region. You don't see it get this crazy, but 40 players basically on a non-moving zone right now. We're just approaching the first. Luco boy finds Mew Pao there, and Oni Tomori is putting in some pressure as well. Just kind of seeing what he can find here. Fax just waiting on by, trying to
He's got the launch pad.
Holding it in the hand.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give it away because if you put it down early, it does make that sound, and players know, all right, community launch pad. There you go. Great. You're making sure that the storm overtakes it, so if anyone else wants to do it, they take the damage for it. Bro, we are nowhere. It's still 9 players. 8 players need to fall before top 25.
Yeah, this is actually insane right now. These guys are sticking around for placement in these final moments here. But if you want to take first place, you got to get Elans here, and that's why Fax is being so proactive right now.
Something to point out, too, check the right side of your screen. The damage threshold, don't forget about that. Look at this number, though. 1,000 damage above the threshold. This guy is putting in work right now. Fax, he is going full send. He is aware. He wants to try and qualify. Remember, there's a spot up for grabs in Brazil, and these are live games happening right now. So, you know, Oceania and Asia happen overnight. We still have to crown a champion coming out of the final solo week for Brazil.
Yeah, Fax is already at 13 points, so if that was his game 1, he's way ahead of the curve here. This might be about his 3rd or so, but nonetheless, he's still in the running right now. These are some respectable points to be had. He's going for the high ground, catches him with a clothesline to Zoom, straight up, hits him with the 96. And now, he's in it, but he's going to go down to the low ground here. He doesn't want to contest for the high. He still has to pop some minis, and the server's collapsing on him with raining fire here. He's got to be extremely careful. Lucky for him, the high ground is in a battle of its own now. Fax catches a moment to regather himself as Ganks and Lorax is in the high ground.
Man, and look at all these players coming in from the community launch pads, any rotational tools they had, the Rift to Goes. Oh, yeah.
That's a weird place to be, man. You can't build on that thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You have to build over it.
Up and over.
A shot into the storm.
Oh, my.
That is Tuelas picked up 2. Tate as well. Frita. Batata Frita. 2 eliminations of aim.
Is that another? Oh, that one's just yoinked from him. He almost had it. But credit is still to be had here as he is turning up right now.
Bro.
I can't pronounce that the way Zeke did, but Batata Frita is going in right now. He's looking for this high ground.
You see the technical builds, too? Using the cone and then hopping out around, using that floor to catch yourself so you kind of save a build there? All right. All right, Batata Frita. I'm about it. An 82 and a follow-up. That is Lorax.
And he got the mats. That's what's important here. He does have the materials to hold out now. The high ground is here. Can he stick it out, though? Yes, players are dropping right now. We're in top 6 suddenly. So all these placements are being divvied out. Just one more person goes down, and just a little bit more is going to be rewarded to him here.
Man.
So you can see the shot there.
This was really good from him, right? Making the decision to go high ground. Look at this. It's put him in the top 5. We were top 25 when we kind of tuned into him, right around there. And because of his decision-making, he's gotten himself all the placement points. The victory route is the next threshold. And look, Monster, he's just looking to close this out.
That's right, and I love it because he's just textbook holding his high ground, but he is out of mats now. So this is where you have to go down, uses the cone right there to sit on that, and he just has to give the high ground to Avir here.
I believe that is Avalar, I think.
Oh, Avalar, gotcha,
yes,
gotcha.
I think so. Sundown can correct me at some point. He's going to go toe-to-toe with that player, though, and that is it. Good day, sir.
All right, did he get mats off that? He didn't, Zeke.
He's got the flint knock, though. He's got...
he's got the combat. That's what he's got right there. One more shot to Wonder Urzen is going to go down. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. Frita connects in the final moments right there and walks away with a 6 elimination victory royale.
Man, 16-point game coming out of the Brazil region. You like to see it. Now, Fortnite fam, you know we've had so much fun hanging out with you, but for now, let's sit back in the studio and see what Dr. Lubo's got.
Thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Master D Face, you legends. I know a lot of people are wondering, and yes, we're going to look at it here in a second because the tension in Brazil is high. South America putting on an excellent show, and we want to see what the standings are, so I'm going to take a little stroll on over. We're going to look at the board and see exactly where everybody is lining up right now, and here you go, top to bottom. Club Note sitting at 51 points, 4 games played and 2 victory royales, but right on his tail, only King, 45, just 6 points behind, and only 3 games played. You see the spread here, not too far away from each other. Multiple players from previous qualifying weeks. King, Code Nix right there. Both players already have made their way. They've already punched their ticket to New York City, but consistency is key, as you can see here, an example of exactly that. You love to see it. Brazil, thank you so much for everything you've done for us so far, putting on an excellent show. But before we get on the rest of the games of the day, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, so don't go anywhere except for maybe to the bathroom. Oh, sorry, half hour. I do this every time. Production yells at me repeatedly. I don't know how to tell time, all right? It's 30 minutes. Go get some lunch. Swing on back. See you in a bit.
What's going on, Fortnite fam? We're here for week number 8. And you know it's time to go meet up with the casters, so let's...
So much for your intro, Zeke.
No! It's time for weekend!
I'm Golden Boy, one of your hosts, and we're gonna jump right in.
I am so excited to be casting these games today. We are back.
All right, so we're getting ready. It's been a really great day so far. There's a lot to get through. We want to talk to... What?
Actually, something.
Okay, all right.
I found a slipstream.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Squints!
Yeah?
So you're the in-game producer.
Yep.
But is there more we need to know about in-game observing?
I believe so, and you should go talk to Andy about that, Zeke.
Hey, what's up guys? My name's Andy. I'm the in-game director for the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers. So whenever we get into game, I take over from Joe, our broadcast director, and start cutting between all of our observers. I work with a team of 2 observers as well as a game producer, Squints, and the observer director in order to try and cut the best show possible. So basically all of our observers are getting the best content during these games, and I'm sort of the one who's deciding which one goes live on air. None of this is possible by myself. So I got a lot of help from my game producer as well as my observer director.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Rose. I am the observer director, so I work with every observer individually, make sure they get the greatest shots, the greatest stories, so that when we go to Andy and he goes and cuts the show, he makes sure that you guys are seeing the best quality content that you can.
Check out the next block of NA West. Let's see what we have in store.
Aiden had some great plays. If he is able to carry the momentum over into this one.
Are you guys curious to see how audio works for the broadcast? Let's go meet up with John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the audio mixer, or A1, on Fortnite. Welcome, Fortnite fam, to the audio booth. This is the audio board. All the audio that you hear goes through my hands. This is all of our wireless microphones for all of our talent. And then right here are all of our in-ear monitors, or IFTs, so that I can talk to talent. Like, usually it's something like, hey, Zeke, turn on your mic. And then they turn on their mics. I think Zeke should have heard that right now. Did you hear that? Nice. Also, I have a window.
We're all done. Yay.
Day 1's done!
What are you talking about? World Cup finals over, guys, okay? I won everything.
Guys, I just want to let you know, my favorite person in the world is in this room.
Wow.
Which one do you think it is?
It's not me.
I'm happy to tell you.
It's not me.
It's actually Kitty Plays! Boom! Right there! You know, it's not easy making this look good. Let's go meet up with Monique, the makeup artist, to see how she gets all this done.
No, I don't like that guy, Zeke. He's such a... Oh, hey! Hi, I'm Mo. I'm the makeup artist. I'm the one that makes these nerds look beautiful. Oh, Zeke. Sorry, let me just reel.
There's 2 people that don't get nearly enough love. They are the people who operate the cameras, and I'm going to introduce you to them right now.
That's Allison. That's Mahoney. That's Mo.
Hi.
Touched on right there is when he gets knocked out with that RPG, instantly rips. Oh my goodness, that was...
North, you know, setting up their cottage, setting up their homes.
Take 3, take 4, and 1 minute game!
Ready off 5, ready off 6, take off 6.
Keep on 1!
Ready off 3, take off 3. Ready off 10, take off 10. Take off 5, ready off 3, take off 3.
And done. Keep up the good work.
Are we gonna do a Fortnite? Wait, come on. Let's do a Pookie. Let's do a Pookie on 3. 1, 2, 3. Pookie.
We have a post-show pinata.
Right now, see. I'm right camera. Hit Zeke in the face.
We've seen 8 weeks of amazing Fortnite Battle Royale action. Players from all around the globe have battled it out, and some have been able to already book their ticket to New York City to compete
in the Fortnite World Cup final in front of thousands of live fans. $8 million has already been given away, and now we're coming down to the wire. Week 9 is the final opportunity for competitors to try and qualify for the solos competition. Who will join the likes of Dubs, Stompy, Tfue, and X2 Jordan on the stage in New York City? Who will be able to clutch up in their final moments, in their last fights, to earn one of the final 19 spots? And with the last 2 weeks on the horizon, we are increasing the weekly prize pool to $2 million. So, get on the battle bus and drop in. This is your last chance to name yourself among the best of the best and to build your way to a spot at the Fortnite World Cup final. What are you waiting for? The battle is building, and you don't want to miss out.
What is going on, Fortnite fam? Welcome back to Week 9 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open Qualifiers. It's Week 9, the final opportunity for these players to punch a ticket for the solo competition. This is it. It all comes down to the wire. Now, of course, guys, in case you have just been tuned in, maybe you haven't been here, maybe it's your first time, let's get you guys up to speed. And of course, refresh your memory. You know how the schedule goes. Oceania, Asia, Europe have all concluded. Brazil's still going on, still wrapping up. And of course, now we're hopping into NA East, and then later on, we'll wrap the day up with NA West. Now, the format, because it is solos, top 25, top 15, top 5, and the Victory Royale are all the placement thresholds. Every single elimination is 1 point. Now, don't forget, guys, the prize pool for Week 9 and Week 10 have been doubled. This is insane. Now, of course, money is fantastic, but those coveted qualifying spots, that's what these players are after. 8 in Europe, 6 in NA East, 2 in West, 1 in Asia, Brazil, and Oceania. Now that we're hopping into East, there is 6 total spots on the line for these players. Again, it is the last possible opportunity for these players to punch their tickets to the finals in New York City. 19 players will be joining us when the day is said and done. Now, of course, we're hanging out with Sundown. Let's take a look at the standings heading into NA East. I'm curious to see how things are shaking out for these players, especially after yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible round of matches so far. We've seen our finals and our semifinals be incredibly close from top to bottom. Again, in Europe, 15 points separating 8th from 100th place. Wow. Let's take a look here. Everyone on pretty much 3 matches, with the exception of Secrets, Vape Jesus hanging out there on to 6 points, or 7 points, excuse me. Math is a little bit hard between Outlet and Bugabot, but we have a whole bunch of Fortnite to still play. Nearly a little under 2 hours in terms of the queue times going, and I mean, we're gonna book 6 more tickets.
That's right, don't forget, guys, top 6. As Sundown likes to say, you must be this tall to ride. So if everything was said and done, these would be your top 6 players, which for Outlet, someone like 72 Macwood, this would be huge. But of course, like you said, we still have a ton of games to get through. So of course, let's hop into the action. We need 2 casters, and of course, we're bringing out the big guns. Let's get Courage JD and Dr. Lupo on deck. Gentlemen, floor is yours.
Dr. Lupo, we are here. Hello, my name is Courage JD. This is Dr. Lupo. Sorry, the camera angle makes me look a little bit shorter than him, but we're about the same height in real life. Ben, NA East, it's here. 72 hours, popped off yesterday. I said I was rooting for Mongrel in the EU. He did it. I'm rooting for 72 hours now in the US. Let's get into the games.
I was talking earlier about that exact thing, that exact person, Tom, representing NA East in a big way yesterday on the board, even in the bottom right corner of your screen right now. I'm going to jump in with Showbeans, though. 1 elimination, 7 points. Not a whole lot of ammunition in the inventory, but enough builds to make an escape. Plus, those 2 Shadow Bombs are going to be key, Jack, for these mid to late game rotations.
Showbeans right now getting set up with these assault rifle weapons. The issue with having 2 of the same weapon class with the ammo means Well, they share the ammo bed, and when you have under a clip in each, you're not really in a good spot. Thankfully, as we know, the combat shotgun with much more range than the likes of the pump when it was in the game can definitely get a little bit more done with it here in the late game. But now Showbeans on the run, not popping a shadow bomb as of yet, was maybe hoping to hit that launch pad, but looks like
quite
struggling to get some builds in here.
Building, honestly, probably one of the most important pieces of Fortnite Battle Royale. It is the ultimate Battle Royale experience, Jack, as they say. Make a movement here, landing inside the same box. KGG gets the GG back to the lobby. Showbeans picking up a second elim, a lot of materials, and enough ammunition for multiple magazines. Finds another player inside. Quick edit, but decides to back out of that. Just kidding. The drop back in, down to 38 HP. Took a lot of damage right there, trying to wall off from pressure from multiple sides. A tough position. Gonna have to rotate away right now. One of those shadow bombs may be the right call if more pressure comes in. It's Bucky. Cam Bam down below. Void. Shy Guy, Maximus, Frey. Slothy plays, multiple players on your screen right now. And that's going to be the case pretty much throughout all of these games, especially in NA East. We mentioned earlier, I was with Sundown, we talked about Europe and how aggressive they seem to play in comparison to other regions. NA East a little slower as of recently in solos, especially with this being the final week of qualifiers for solos for the World Cup. That is more splodes. It is, the legend has it to this day, they're still going off. Slothy burning through all their materials.
How is Slothy alive right now?
Didn't take a single point of damage.
Didn't take a single point of damage. Typically when that happens, the entire lobby begins to focus and then returns the favor onto Erupt Void with the combat shot there. Slothy, of all the outcomes right there, Dr. Lupo, that has to be the absolute best considering the circumstance.
Imagine having 15 dynamite thrown at you, not taking a single point, and then quickly one-tapping a player on the rotation after you rebuilt. Now look at this. Slothy sees a player through the transparency of the metal wall going up. That's the storm side too, so there's a chance maybe to wait. Doesn't decide to do it. Jumps out there into the rift to go. Yet that other player may follow through behind. We're at 36, 35 players remaining. Coder goes down to the storm. Kingman's picking up J-Mac in the feed as well. Sharp on your screen. Multiple players and ballers.
Remember, if you're on the ground right now, you're slipping and sliding around.
Not a fun position to be in. You have TJ, Baldy, multiple players, well-known names we've seen multiple times in the past. But you have to remember, too, that this is just the beginning of Sunday qualifiers, so everybody's kind of queued into the same pool, but as people start to push higher and higher in points, you're going to see the lobbies get more and more difficult as we go closer to the
stand out for sure.
Yep.
Here's a look at Bugabot currently at the bottom of this build. Dynamite coming into play, recognizing, well, I've got to make something happen.
Ooh,
and there's a free limb on a Maximus. Now at 8 total points. Remember, top 25 is where placement points begin to come into play. Bugabot so darn close. Ooh, builds all the way into the zone, takes a couple ticks of damage, but nothing too bad, has a med kit. And I don't mind this at all right here, Lupo. I like the fact that he's going to wind up popping this med kit and, actually stops to go and fight someone nearby, because there's really not going to be another time to be able to pop this med kit when this all goes down. Bugabot hits the community rift and will begin to float towards this zone. So look at the rest of the carnage going down. We've reached our top 20.
12 builds there, floating in from above. Bugabot not sitting on a whole lot of small ammunition for that tactical AR. Baldy goes down to the storm. Bucky picking up Saw on the feed. Another elimination there for Bucky. Fly on pass doesn't have an opportunity to compete for high ground. Gonna land on the ultimate low down on the floor down here, trying to get as close to the edge of the front of the storm as possible. You don't want to spend too much time trying to make your way in, especially with only 2 builds now. 1 brick, 1 metal. Gonna have to try and apply pressure, and there goes the rest of the materials. Bugabot now, the fight for his life on the ground, drops in a player immediately next to him. 2 combat shotgun shots back to back there.
But that player also had no materials. Okay,
a little bit of wood.
There we go. That'll definitely help. Bugabot making the most of a bad situation with another elimination. Now into the top 10. And still, with 13 builds left, can try to make something happen. Here's a look from the top down of exactly where everyone stacks up. Frey on height, but Frey also very, very weak. Looking to get maybe some siphon coming up here. Bugabot pushes out, decides, nope, I can't pick up that rocket right now. I've got to focus on this enemy that's nearby. Back up to 26 builds now. Bugabot in the top 5. So max placement points earned outside of winning the darn game. So definitely a solid performance up to this point. Haz with 2 from up top. There's a challenge coming on, and that is Haz, who gets cut down by Bugabot. 1 versus 1, and Frey just fell to his death because he had like 45 HP.
Eliminated by fall damage there.
That's that.
Plummeting down and kind of a anticlimactic win there. I mean, still it's a victory royale. That's 10 points right there, plus the elimination, so you got to feel good. But didn't really have to compete for the last one outside of Has falling in on top of his head there. Meanwhile, the next game over, 39 players remaining. We are in the southwest corner of the map. Gonna slide on in here. A fly in from the outside is Slacky Marevs. NA East, by the way, has just under 2 hours left to play. We're a little over a third of the way through their queue time. You have to get 10 games in. You can get 10 games in, I should say. A lot of players, even ones that make it to the top 10, top 5, even first place, don't often finish all their games. There's no need to if you're getting wins and high elimination counts every single time you play for placement, that kind of thing. So you have an hour and 50 minutes left.
I think he's just staring at this guy, just sitting in this box, wanting to just go for it. There it is. Oh!
The shot in the air?
No, tried to make it happen. Tried to make it happen, but unfortunately can't. But either way, Marevs had the right idea. If that player doesn't have a rift, obviously that's a different story. Looks like wants to keep the pressure going, and I don't mind this at all. You know how weak this person is.
Have to.
You have to go for this. Again, we talked so much about it. If you want to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup Finals, you will not get away with just placement points. You need eliminations if you're going to do it. He gets right inside the box.
Oh.
And that was exactly who tried to break on out, tried to escape, but unfortunately met their demise right there inside the 1x1.
Slacky actually tried to do one of the coolest little gimmicks you can do. If you are above an opponent that has a pyramid on top of the 1x1 that they're in, you stand in the corner of it and build 2 of your own walls against that corner and then just pickaxe straight down, because your character, the character model, will drop in there and you'll phase through. If they instantly replace it, you'll phase through and fall into their box. You can keep the aggression going.
I call him Dr. Lupo for a reason right there.
Listen, I've watched enough. Let me just say this. I'll admit this openly. I have before. I'll say it again. I'm not the best player, Jack.
We know.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, there's a reason you're standing by my side right now, by the way. In comparison, we're trash. But we've watched enough and can understand the mechanics behind the game.
Absolutely.
That at this level, things like that, they stand out so much, and it's that kind of gameplay. You know, there's a reason I'm hiding behind the desk, like I said.
Hey, man, it makes sense. It's great to, be here casting with you, and also full peace of mind knowing that I have more skill in me than both you and your Pro-Am partner, Jordan Fisher, have in your entire bodies combined.
Best Fortnite ever.com.
And myself and Brendan Urie, when we win next week, are going to sing and dance on stage. And then we're going to have $1 million go to our charity of choice. So. Tickets are actually available for the summer block party and the Pro-Am if you'd like to come take part and watch me take over. You can go to Fortnite Summer Block Party, Google, and find the link to it, because I don't know it off the top of my head. How about that for a plug?
A valid attempt there, but a little bit of a miss, just like most of your gameplay. Meanwhile, Tom, 72 hours here, 3 eliminations now. Pops the slurp to prevent anybody else at that point from using it. Picks up a mini. So I'm a little curious why he picked up 1 mini over keeping the slurp.
Sometimes in these late game moments, some panic can set in. You might not realize. You might not be able to get the chance. You might think, oh, that's 6 minis, right? And it's only 1. So right now, 72 hours, just trying to stay alive. Played out of his mind yesterday. A fantastic day. But as we know, Saturday doesn't always transfer over to Sunday. 72 hours spraying with this infantry rifle close range. Oh, doesn't get that a limb. Does stay in the zone. Doesn't get that a limb either. There you go.
Found one.
Okay, they do drop, but he kind of tunnel visioned here, Lupo. He kind of tunnel visioned here,
way
Lupo.
Outside in the storm, pushing his way in. Is he going to make it or not? We'll have to see. Just barely 10 HP remaining. The Shadow Bomb to continue pushing on through to the opposite side of the safe zone. Almost lost it there. 90 HP to the zone is not ideal. Wishes he had that slurp, I'm sure, at this point, hoping he can find some way to get this back. Frantically building his way to the top, trying to build up inside the safe zone, stay at the forefront of the storm. 12 players left. We're very close.
Yep.
Got to make it to the top 5 to pick up the last 2 points before the victory royale is the only way for placement to matter anymore. Player directly above him. J Storm Painful looking down. Maybe an opportunity for Tom. He's going to see it. Releases the edit wall and builds forward. Doesn't want to engage just yet. A little bit of fall in there. No fall damage.
I thought that was going to be it right there.
Very close. 8 players left. J-Storm picking up another elim.
Oh.
Threats finds him inside a box. 72 hours goes down just outside the top 5.
And if your
five
threats,
placements.
if your threats right there, it's an easy decision. You see someone inside trying to chug a big shield in time. You've got a heavy sniper. You know the player's got to be weak. That is a no-brainer type shot. Nicely recognized by threats. You see it on the left side of your screen actually does get eliminated right there. So did make it right on the edge of top 5. Not sure if they wound up earning those other placement points, and it looks like he'd wind up. He did. So we are now in our top 3, though. Top right of your screen, Rocardini. Bottom right, Beggs. And then you see on the low ground, Slacky Marevs too, who's very, very weak. The stink is brilliant from up top. Stinks this late in the game are just so deadly. Marev's gonna drop to that. He smelt it and dealt it. Another stink comes in. Beggs getting chunked by this now. Even more stink still in the inventory. Oh, this is just beautiful. Rocardini recognizing that it's best to hold on to those to the extreme late game, and now basically has a free win right in front of themselves with this one. Yeah, that doesn't get much easier. Well-placed stinks, and the patience to hold on to them, Dr. Lupo, pays off in dividends.
You see an opportunity late game like that, players fighting it out below you. No reason to not just drop that guy on in there and see if you can deal it while they're forced to smell it, Jack. You hate to see